What's up everybody? Today on the vlog, Thursday the 23rd, today on the vlog, I want to talk about how to do decent light design. So number one, I want to talk about the fact that I've got sort of this harsh light on me here. I have no light in the background and the scene just sort of looks weird. I've got sort of a light over here that's kind of cascading on this side of me and it's dark back here. And then I've got this really hard light on me here. I am right now shooting at 24 frames a second. At 50 on the shutter speed, and I'm at 3.5 on the aperture, and I've got my ISO set at 320. I like to keep my ISO as low as I possibly can. I want to talk a little bit about setting up these lights. So what I have in the room with me right now is actually just two lights. I'm not going to use a fill light because this light is going to sort of be the fill. And so I want to talk for a second about what good light design looks like. We've got 3 points of light in order to make any scene look decent. The trick with lighting is trying to make it look as natural as possible. If you're going for a creative look, that's fine, then create the creative look. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I wanted this scene to be red, it could be, and there I would have freakish, crazy, reddish. Maybe I wanted this to be a bit more somber, then I could do something like this. And there you go, a little bit more bluish in tones. And then if I color graded this and gave it a more matte finish, then it would look like this. So the point of today's editing piece of the vlog is to talk about what good lighting looks like. Now the lights that I'm using in this shot are twofold. I've got this light here, which is the Yongnuo YN360. So this one is an RGB light. So this allows me to do blue, red, green, or any color in between. It's glowy in here. Point is that I have this one's YN360. I also have behind me aperture ALH198, and so this is I love this light. Sorry, it's super bright in here. It's pretty darn bright and can illuminate the background there in a room with blackout curtains pretty darn well. So if I wanted to create a backlight here, I could. Again, I'm gonna use the natural light as my fill light. I'm gonna use this light that's way too bright right now as my key light. All right, so step one is to open up that curtain and get some of that natural light. I mean, I'm not even paying for that light. I don't even have to charge a battery. It's just there and running. This light here I'm gonna use sort of as a back sort of rim light in order to separate me off the background. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll point that at myself to create this nice little, this glow. Sometimes I'll point it back like this, and I will try to complement the window. So if you notice, it sort of looks like that light is sort of cascading in this way. And so what I'm gonna try to do is position my light so that it does the same thing. There you have it. So here is the lighting that I've set up. So I've got my key light over here. I've got a fill light, which is the natural light coming in from the side, sort of giving me a little light over here. I've got this light sort of brightening up the background so that it don't fall off into the dark. And let me show you what it looks like without that again. That is without that backlight, and so you can see it just looks back there. I look like I'm popping off the screen. Instead of that, I'm gonna turn that back on, and then we'll have that behind me. Now you can't see that light, and again, it looks like the sunlight is hitting the wall. This looks like a natural shadow that would occur. And sorry, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the screen right now, looking at the setup. But you can see that just with a few little tweaks, you can make the lighting of your video look so much better. You can also do a bit of adjusting in order to change things like what the color balance is. So right now I have this set at, looks like I have it set on auto white balance, which I don't usually do. Let me change it to a couple of different settings to show you what the difference is. This is set to sunlight. So if you were outside in the sun, this would be the correct lighting. And as you can see, it kind of makes everything a little warm in here because this isn't as accurate as sunlight. So there's a number on most lights that you buy. It's a CR rating. That CR rating represents the color accuracy rating. 95 plus is good, it's okay. 98 and up is like pretty much the best you can buy. Best light is always the sun, but you always want to diffuse that. And that is one thing actually I don't have right now on this light, so I want to show you what diffused light looks like here in a second. But let me show you the other settings on our white balance. This is a setting for like shadows. So if you're standing in the shadows, this is what they want you to use. This is the setting for a cloudy day. So this is when the sun is going in and out of the cover of the clouds, or the clouds are covering you from whatever it is. When the sun is peeking in and out from behind the clouds, this is the setting that you would use. And let me explain what's happening here. The camera is just adjusting what white looks like. Now, you can fix this in post, but it's a little tricky to do unless you have a white card, a balance card. Sometimes what I will do is I'll grab a piece of white paper, but the problem with that is sometimes paper really isn't white, and so you can see here that this really isn't a white piece of paper. It's kind of yellowish in color, so if I were to color correct that, it might correct our whites, but it's always a little tricky, so you have to play with it sometimes. So that is the cloudy day. Let me go to the next. This is a setting for incandescent lights. So it's set up for what most interior lighting looks like. Now, it's kind of hit or miss here too, because there's, you know, CFL bulbs and regular filament bulbs and fluorescent tubes and fluorescent bulbs and all kinds of different lighting fixtures inside your home. And so this one adds a bit more blue. This is the white balance. So again, this is the 3 light setup. So I've got a natural light, I've got 2 lights. Now I'm gonna do one thing different. I'm gonna add diffusion to this. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a piece of material between me and this key light. If you don't have a diffusion of 5-in-1, which is just like this, which is just 5 different types of light modification in one. So I'm gonna open this guy up. This one's made by Impact. It's a little smaller, which I like because, you know, it's tiny to get on the set. So it has a white and gold, so those tungsten tones. So it also has a black, and it has a silver bounce. It also has, if you take off everything, it has this diffusion, which is like spandex kind of. So I'm just gonna do this real quick, so watch this. So all I'm gonna do is slip this diffusion between me and that light source. Now you're gonna notice first off that it kind of dimmed it down a little bit, so it made it like a little bit darker. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this light up more. Okay, so now I turned that light up. Remember this was like where I was like, oh, that's horrible, that's horrible. Now I'm gonna slip the diffusion between there, bright as it is. And all I'm doing is putting that filter between me and the light. And I want you to take a look at what this looks like compared to without it. So this is with diffusion, without, without. You get what I'm saying, right? So diffusion is going to help you out considerably, and it's gonna make all those crazy lines on your face sort of disappear. And if you turn a little bit more this way, you'll notice that I've got a nice fill on this side. I look pretty good on this side. So I actually talked more than I thought I was gonna talk about it. And I am curious though, do you find this kind of content interesting? Light design on the vlog, May 23rd, take it or leave it. That's what I talked about. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff that you're supposed to do at the end of a YouTube video, at least mine, and subscribe. Please, please subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you tomorrow, which is Friday, on Memorial Weekend. What are you doing this weekend?